All right, so we are live. We are back. Took a couple weeks off because a couple of us were on vacation, but we're back today, and we're gonna talk about social media. Uh, we're just gonna talk about the effects of it and how we can deal with potential negative effects. So I'm joined by my good friend Jose, my good friend Daniela, and our pastor Elisa. We're a group of young adults. We reside in New Jersey. We attend a church here, Crossroads Church, and our goal is just to meet every week to talk about different topics that are kind of prevalent in society, different things that are going on, things that people want to hear about. We just have real conversations about them. You're welcome to join us every week at around 9 o'clock. We also have what's called a community group. We meet right before this at 8 o'clock. You're welcome to join that as well. You can just contact us. Our email should be in the description of this video, or and just let us know that you're interested, and we'll send you the info. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about social media and how it can affect us. And first of all, I want to get an idea of how everybody uses social media in this chat. So personally, I stopped using social media. I think when Twitter first came out, that was when I was most active on social media. I would tweet a lot and go on Twitter and follow, and that's probably when I was most active. Instagram, I was never really into. I think I've posted like 4 pictures, all from one vacation in DR like 4 years ago. Some every now and then I'll log in and check. So I'm not very active on social media. So that's just so when I kind of talk about what we're going to talk about, it comes from kind of a limited perspective. I don't know about you guys. I know, Jose, you're a little bit more active, right?
Yeah, when it comes to, because I use Facebook, I would say like for sneakers, because I buy and sell sneakers, and collect sneakers. So um, there's a lot of groups on there that are active that they sell sneakers and then trade sneakers and stuff. But when it comes to like Instagram and stuff like that, it's more just scrolling through or wasting time. I would say um, bypassing time for the most part. Those are two things.
How about you, Danielle?
Um, I use Instagram the most. I don't really use Facebook. Instagram, I have like a blog Instagram, and then I have my regular Instagram. And then I have a youth group that I'm a part of. I do their Instagram. So I do different accounts on Instagram. So I would say that's like the app that I'm most active on.
How about you, Pastor Elisa?
For me, mostly has been the use of Facebook. Um, I I do have an Instagram account. I don't use it a lot, um, but Facebook basically for me was posting pictures since I have family in Peru. So that at the beginning with when Facebook came, like it was brand new. Like that was our way to communicate to let the family see what was happening over here in America and vice versa. Now it's more also to send a message of Jesus Christ to through Facebook, like videos and devotionals and stuff like that. Um, but just like you, Jody, I should be more into it. But I'm not big on social media. I and I'm so for new things and stuff like that. But when it comes to people, I like the one-on-one, in-person interaction. I think like to me, that's the best with me. But I do use social media, especially Facebook, Instagram now. I I think I have a Twitter account, but I've never used it.
No Snapchat, TikTok?
Nope. No.
No TikTok dances from Pastor Elisa? Um, so the first question I had in mind is because I'm not too active. I guess I'm considered older. I know Jose and Daniela, you guys are more active. It's definitely something that is a huge part of our society now. Everybody uses it, especially younger generations. It's become, like Jose was saying, it's become probably the number one time waster in a sense, where people just go on there and just spend hours on social media. And it began from years from, like I said, from when I first started using Twitter, and it's definitely grown from there. Why do you guys think that it's become such a prevalent part of today's society that it's something that almost everybody is involved with? It's a huge part of the way we live now.
I feel like it's like just the way of communication has evolved so much, uh, from being person to person to now communicating through um, these social media platforms. Because I know before it was harder to speak to somebody international. Now it's easier to do so. But I feel like it's more, I guess, the purpose of social media is to connect people, to help, I guess, market businesses and stuff. Because I feel like for me there was different stages when it came to when it comes to social media, where social media was for me to flaunt what I had, and now it's like Pastor Lisa said, to share the message of Christ, to encourage people, to post pictures of me and Daniela, and like just it's just different stages of what you put out and what you receive also. Because then some people receive things differently by scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. Some people may see something that they want, and then it's also like a marketing scheme. But for the most part, yeah, marketing and communication.
In addition to what Jose said, I would say that it's become an integral part in our society because I think that some people use it to express who they are. Like they could post, because I know, like, I mean, it can be a good and a bad thing. Like people post like how they actually want to be on Instagram, but like in real life, they're not like that. Or just like how they want their life to be, or things like that. And also like what Jose was saying, a way to communicate. And I think that social media has helped a lot with like bringing awareness and attention to a lot of different issues. Like, of course, there is its bad things and its good things,
Mhm.
but it does bring a lot of issues that kind of go unnoticed.
I also think that there is always like a desire in people's hearts for friendship. I think even though we're a society, it's super busy, super um, we're always busy, right? But I think that people have a little bit of issue socializing. Some people, and since even the phone, why when people started texting, there's a lot of people that they just hide behind a text, and I think social media is just a way that people just try to or imagine that they're finding friendships that maybe in person there are things you can't do, but through social media, people kind of are different people. Like I think Daniela was saying, and I just think just some people are looking for friendships, looking to be part of something, and I think social media gives you that idea or that feeling that you're part of something, and you're part of something big where there's all these friends and all these people looking at you and following you,
Yeah.
that it could become pretty empty and you could be very lonely, even though you think you have thousands of friends following you.
Yeah, I think all of you guys, everything you guys said, I agree with, and I think one big thing you guys all mentioned is how quickly it can connect you to somebody else. Like, I remember my parents used to buy boss cards or like cards so they can call DRs. It's not necessary anymore with social media. You can just connect right away. You can do through whatever video calls or posting or commenting on a post. You know, you quickly can connect to anybody around the world. and then it's definitely grown from there. Like Jose was mentioning with marketing, like social media is free marketing if you know how to use it. It's become a platform for millions of people as well to sell stuff, to impact, to also influence others and what they believe and what they think. Also, it's become so. It's definitely grown from the early beginnings of when it was just like a MySpace where you just get on there and hang out. And now look at where we are with all these different platforms and all these different ways to express yourself, right? So we kind of talked about a little, but I want to get into a little bit more because with just like with anything, there's positives and negatives. So I want to get your thoughts on that. What are some positives of social media? What are some negatives? And maybe even you personally, if you have any personal experiences with this or you want to share, where you've been influenced either positively or in a negative way with social media.
I would say for me, like I was saying before about like sneakers, like it helps business wise, um, and also for Prodigal Soul, um, since we're trying to start that up. It just helps you. It just helps you market your business. It helps you market your ideas. Um, that's some pros that I take from it, and it helps you, I guess, to somewhat like network with other companies or other people easier. Like even if they're out of state, like it's easier to network. Some cons would be, I would say, comparison. I would say jealousy. Like if you see something or you see somebody on a vacation, you're like, oh, I want to be there. Um, but the biggest thing is like I don't know who said it, but like just the false acts that people put up, like we spoke about yesterday, how people act like they seem happy but they might be going through something, or like everything is perfect when it comes to social media. Like people never post sad posts. Like it's like the best that they put out, and that's not realistic.
Yeah, Jose and I were having that conversation yesterday. We were planning for today. We were talking about when's the last time you were scrolling through social media and you saw somebody post like, "Oh, I had a bad day," or a picture of something that didn't go well in their day. It's like it's always good, right? It's almost always good. It's always just the good parts of your day. It's just all like Jose was saying, vacation, new car, new house, hanging out with friends, having a good time. But like those are all great and it's good, but so often it's kind of like a facade because you could be, having this good time, but deep down inside you're struggling with something, right? Or I think somebody was mentioning it the other day. You could be out with friends, but then when you get home, you have issues in your family, and nobody knows about that. And you don't open up about that because you want to just keep up this kind of fake appearance on social media sometimes. So it can definitely kind of be a place where you're a different person than you are in reality, or you act differently, or you seem different than who you actually can be, or what your struggles may be. Which I guess in a way is an escape, but at the same time, is it really helping your situation if you're not able to open up about it with your friends or be open in a sense? I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Um, the question was how social media affects us positively and negatively.
Yeah.
I think definitely comparison is one, like Jose was saying, um, which is something negative. Um, I feel like there's good things and bad things about social media. I think that some people, like what you were saying, Jody, can use it to their advantage, and then there's just other people that sometimes, like how you guys were also saying, that you could put up like a like a
That.
yeah, and like basically live like a double life, like what I was saying before. And I think that also social media, like sometimes you can spend too much time on it, it like consumes you when you're bored. Like you're like not even doing anything. You're just scrolling to find like nothing basically. Um and yeah, that's what I would say for social media.
I agree with Daniela. I think the wasting of your time is just tragic. You know, I always used to hear my brother say, time is something you never get back, right? You can't get time back. And I know just being, knowing about youth and being a teacher in public schools, when you speak to children and teens, preteens, you ask them what you were doing yesterday, or talk about your day yesterday after school. They said, the hours and hours they spend on social media, Facebook, Snapchat. Well, probably not Facebook with the younger generation, but you could, before you know it, you were watching something, just wasting your time, and then before you know it, it's 8 hours, 9 hours, just seeing somebody else's life, and it's just wasting your time and getting this idea in your head that um, you see a lot of people, young people, depressed, and even adults, that they feel like, oh, my life is not good enough because I see all these pictures. Everybody's having the perfect life. Everybody is having, the great relationships. Everybody's getting engaged. Everyone's getting married. People are getting pregnant. These things are not happening to me, or stuff like that. You get so caught up in living through other people's lives, and you forget that you're wasting your time. And you see people with their dreams or accomplishing the dreams, but yeah, it's like watching soap operas, right? Back in the day, it was the soap operas that you used to waste your time with. Now it's social media. So I think it's just wasting time, your life away. And like I said, I love social media for good things, like to spread the gospel, to send encouragement, to share pictures with with families that don't live close to you and stuff like that. But it could really be something very negative if you don't have the maturity.
Yeah. I think just with anything, it can be a vice that can hold you back, right? It's something that you struggle with is comparing yourself to others, and social media is probably something where you might want to avoid, right? You might want to take a step back and kind of reevaluate the way that your life is. Like, for example, if you struggle with drinking, you're probably not going to want to go to a bar, right? And so on and so forth. So it can definitely be a vice, but it can also be a good thing, right? It can be a great thing to connect with others. Like Pastor Lisa said, she has family in Peru. Social media makes it so that she can connect with them easily, right? Maintain those good connections, those strong connections. People who go away, like someone who gets deployed in the army, can stay connected very easily with their dear ones, with their friends and family. So there are positives, there are negatives. We just, like anything else, you need to learn how to balance them. Right? And I think with that, I want to share a couple verses with you guys. The first one is Philippians 2, verses 3 to 4. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others." And I thought that was a great verse because I think we spoke about it a little bit. Somebody mentioned it. When you look at social media, you tend to look at it and see, oh, look, this person's doing so well. This person's, um, you know, just got married, like Pastor Lisa, just went on vacation, right? All this good stuff happening on social media. A lot of times and it's normal. I guess it's human nature in a sense. Something that we struggle with is kind of feel a little jealous, like, oh, that they have that, but I don't have that. Why did they just get a raise, but I've been working at my job for so long and I'm still earning the same wage, or why did that happen to them when I'm doing so much, right? And I think this verse helps us to kind of refocus a little bit and think about, the way that we think about others and have a humility and help us to be happy for others, right? Help us to, rejoice in other people's progress, right? And I like where it says, rather in humility value others above yourselves, right? Not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. So I think one thing that social media can help us is kind of learning to do that in a sense, right? Enjoy somebody else's accomplishments, be genuinely happy for somebody else, when they're going when they accomplish something and be able to revel in that, right? And not feel like we're put down because they're being put up, right? That's another thing that I wanted to mention also, because I feel like that's another bad thing about social media is the cyberbullying, right? And you see it from adults all the way down to even younger people, right? You see adults on social media are often the worst because they they have more weight in what they say, right? I I'm following this baseball player who's very popular on social media. He has over 300,000 followers. He's become like a huge thing on social media. How has he become so popular? By putting other people down. If somebody mentions even one thing that they didn't like about him, he attacks them. He roasts them in a sense, right? And that gets him more followers. That gets him more clout. You know. The president is another one. He has a habit of roasting people on social media, right? Putting other people down if anybody attacks them in even a small way, right? So that's another thing about social media that can be a little bit not not on the great side as well. And I think this verse kind of talks to that is be happy for others, you know, don't put other people down. That's not going to help you to be elevated yourself, right? And along those same lines, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, for those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Right? So humility is I think, a big thing. And the way that you act on social media can also tell a lot about who you are, right? And how you kind of view others and view yourself in a sense. Right? I don't know if anybody wants to add anything to that.
I just because I've been thinking about it a lot because I heard a Drake song recently. It was saying how it says jealousy is love and hate at the same time. And I always think about that because, like you said, like genuinely being happy for someone because, like, success is not happening for you, but you being genuinely happy for someone else isn't something I feel like it comes natural. Like, because you're not for, I don't know how to explain it. Like in a selfish nature, like when you see somebody else doing good, you don't really want to, I guess, like applaud them for it because you want that, or if you wanted a status, or if you wanted to be at the next position in the job, but somebody else got it, like being genuinely happy, like you said. Um, I feel like it takes a lot of humbling, also, like the verse said, just to humble yourself and actually be genuinely happy for someone else winning, because in the end, in business, there's money to be made for everyone, you know, and also like when you see people getting married and stuff like that, like everything is in God's time. So if you're not in that position but you want to, it's good to want to be in that position, but it's not good to force it. Like you have to know that everything is in God's time, and when it's your time to get married, it's your time to get married. When it's your time for a promotion, it's your time for a promotion. So just being content with your life, how it is now, and just continue to improve yourself and not look to other people's path. Don't look to the left or to the right, but just keep looking straight. That's the way I see it, to what God wants.
And know that the people that are posting these good things have their own struggles as well, just like everybody else. Even though you might not see it, they do too. We all have our struggles that we have to deal with.
Yep.
Pastor Lisa, we can't hear you. I think you're muted.
No, I was thinking about how, social media, it's not only what you post or what your family and friends post, it's also, there's other things like government, and there's like different groups, different ideologies, different religions. There's so much out there. And there is, you can get so caught up in something in social media that can really damage your relationship with others and your relationship with God. And I was also thinking about how wasting your time away in social media where you disconnect with God. You're so connected with social media, but you disconnect with God, and that could be a problem, right? The moment you disconnect with God, the moment you disconnect with things that are important in your life, you're really going to struggle. I speak to a lot of young people, and they're, and I hear more and more and more them saying, "I'm going to disconnect. I'm just going to." Some of them that I know, I even say I'm just gonna, you know, delete my account because this has been way too much. So it can get out of hand. So we always have to keep that in mind, right? My relationship with God and with real people is number one, right? Things, my priorities are so important because this can really take over your life. I know people that, it's like like their life is in social media. It's like they practically live on social media. Like it's crazy. You know everything how I am, and you think like, how do they keep this up? In order to keep up a daily everything, it's like about your life. It's like a lot of time. You involve a lot of time to do this, so it could damage your relationship, like I said, with God and others. So we have to be careful with that.
Daniel, you want to end this in prayer?
Sure. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for all the people here who are, or whoever will listen. I thank you for their lives. I pray that if they don't believe in you, Lord, that they would come to your feet through us, Lord. And I pray that um that we would use social media as something that will glorify you and that we wouldn't make it an idol. I pray that you um would continue to work in us, continue to do something great in us and the people watching. I pray that whatever anyone is going through right now, that you would just be with them, give them clarity of mind, Lord, peace, patience, and comfort. And I pray that as we continue to do your will, as we continue to bring more souls to your for your kingdom, Lord, I pray that you would just give us the right attitude, the right mindset, and motivate us to be better and more like you, Lord. So I thank you for this time. I thank you that you have chosen us to do this for your kingdom, Lord. And I pray and I thank you for the person listening or watching or whoever may listen. I thank you for their life, and I thank you that you're already doing something great in them, whether they know it or not. So I just thank you for this time again, Lord, and thank you for what you're doing in us and through us. And I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.